He's just hanging on by the beak. So I'm here in Caiman, in the heart of the Pantanal, documenting the Arara Azul project, and this is the Hyacinth Macaw. And we're here this morning at a nesting site, a natural nesting site for this bird, and we're going to be going up to the nest, photographing them, and speaking with the project leader who is here studying this amazing species. So why is there so many Hyacinth Macaw here right now?
Well, they are very curious. When they heard or see something different in the woods, they came to see what is going on. But also it could be a nest competition as well.
They're so funny.
Yeah.
They're all hanging out. At the moment, we're at the base of the Mandavi tree, which is the primary nesting spot for Hyacinth Macaw in the Pantanal. And because of the curiosity of this bird, there's actually multiple Hyacinth Macaws flying around above. And this is such an unusual angle. Photographically, you never really see the bird from this particular point of view. So I'm focusing on photographing them as they look down upon us. So I'm using a telephoto lens and trying to get close-up shots of them silhouetted against the green backdrop, which is amazing. I mean, they're just looking down at us and they're so cheeky and curious, and it's so beautiful.
So the Mandavi tree takes a long time to grow. And to be a Hyacinth Macaw nest, it must have around 60 years old.
Wow. How old do you think this one is?
Probably 70.
Wow.
So my name is Fernanda. I'm a biologist from Hyacinth Macaw Institute. We work with the macaws in the wild population of Hyacinth macaws. We monitoring the nests, check what is going on inside the hollows. We manage the nest. We install artificial nests. We fixed the natural cavities for them breed, and we work with conservation because not just the macaws use the cavities to breed, but another bunch of animals, like more than 30 species. And they are environmental engineers because when they start to nest, they improve their tree hollows. They chew all the wood around to build a kind of bed for the eggs. So with this behavior, not just the macaws, but other birds or animals could use the cavity because they make the cavity larger. So in the end of the 80s, we had just a few population of Hyacinth Macaw in the wild. In 1989, the biologist Neva Geddes saw a lot of macaws perched on a tree, and she researched about that animal and realized if nobody does something, the species will disappear from the wild.
Back in the 80s, the population of Hyacinth macaws declined significantly, largely due to illegal wildlife trafficking, deforestation of the trees that the macaws used to feed and to nest, and hunting of the birds for the feather trade.
So she decided to work with the macaws. So after 3 decades of work with this species, the population increased. So we have more than 5,000 birds flying around and occupying other Brazilian regions.
So this technique came to compensate the lack of natural nests. When the Dr. Neva Guedes came to Pantanal and she realized that the macaws needed more cavities, more nests to reproduce because there was competition, not so many natural nests. Then she decided to create this alternative, and it's going very well. We can hear the macaws close to the nest. Currently, we have 49 artificial nests here at Caiman.
And why is the Hyacinth Macaw important for the ecosystem?
We said that the Hyacinth Macaw are bioindicators of good environment. They need a good environment to live. It's very good when we see macaws flying around. It's like a guarantee that the environment is good for the wildlife.
So this afternoon we've been driving around monitoring a few nests in the area, and I've actually been focusing on capturing portraits of the birds while they're flying. And this is typical behavior, you know, as we're coming close to the nests, the birds, they'll exhibit this behavior where they fly around and vocalize, like you can probably hear them off in the background just now, and you know, moving around from tree to tree and doing flybys, and it's been really cool to try to capture that. Now, with bird photography, because they're flying in the air and because they're moving quite quick, using a telephoto lens like the 400mm here, I have to ensure that I'm using a high enough shutter speed that I capture the birds sharply. And on days like today, where there isn't that much available light, although I'm at the lowest aperture number, I still have to use a higher ISO in order to achieve a shutter speed that's high enough. So I've been aiming for a shutter speed around 1600 or even higher to capture really sharp shots as the birds fly by. So in terms of autofocus, instead of using just a single autofocus point, I'm using the widest available autofocus area for this camera and using the artificial intelligence tracking for birds. So this is helping me to really zone in on the birds as they fly by and focus on composition instead of trying to nail the focus with just one autofocus point.
We installed those artificial nests to increase the numbers of available nests for the macaws. We put the metal band around to avoid predators. This action is really helping the macaws in the wild. So 50% of our active nests are in artificial ones.
Two chicks.
Oh my gosh, they're so precious.
What information do you collect about the babies?
We're monitoring the chicks in order to see the health of population that are growing inside the nests, the future population. With this monitoring, we see if the chicks are developing well, with healthy, if they are surviving into the nest, because we have a percentage of loss of chicks and eggs. Those chicks are very healthy, they are doing well, the parents are doing a great job, they were fed, so we hope that they still doing this and survive until the first fly. So every time that I climb a nest and see a chick, I like it a lot actually, because I see there little animals that brings me hope for future. brings me hope for the health of the environment. If the birds survive, it means that the environmental is doing well. So if the environmental is doing well, it's good for all of us.